Carriage Return is a postal exchange of typewriter drawings between friends Hilary Judd and Lucy May Schofield. Corresponding with one another since 2018 between the city of Manchester and the Northumbrian countryside, our drawings cross geographical and emotional boundaries. This active exchange stretches time, elongating the space between our dialogue of intimate expressions. Carriage Return celebrates the limitations of the typewriter's mechanisms. At its invention, it was a time-saving print technology, yet today, its slowness attracts a meditation on its physicality and restriction. The mishits, mistakes, failures, and vulnerability of the medium is seductive to us, a contradiction to the over-edited and filtered platforms of communication today. These rudimentary sensitive drawings encourage an honesty in the ongoing conversation created between our two worlds and individual experiences.
An emphasis is placed on creating the space for these drawings to be made and to arrive at the door of the other, for the expressions held in print to travel the distance. This means of exchange echoes the actual time it takes to walk from place to place, and feels like an almost political act in a world fixated on the immediacy of modern communication. Essentially, these letters and drawings are immediately out of date the moment they are put in the post, as digital messages continue to ping into our phones, keeping us in touch and up to date. Sometimes there is an anxiety about the amount of time that passes between receiving a letter and replying, but these drawings exist in and dictate their own timescale. While print technology can now make possible all that we desire, the attraction of exploring a tool used primarily for letter writing in a world where people no longer write letters allows the freedom and abstraction of the drawn line. The physical space is made on the page to depict our perceptions of inhabiting different lives. Lucy's life expanding through travel and experience, and my world contracting through the incubation of pregnancy and the birth of my son.
The space between the two of us geographically echoes the current restrictions of space required between us all during lockdown. This work-in-progress postal exchange is created 170 miles apart, or a 2-day, 4-hour walk. The personal dialogue between the two of us as friends, as women, and as artists can speak of something universal. This medium of the past gives us, in the present, a means of communicating our ideas, thoughts and concerns to one another slowly. Like all forms of printmaking, the typewriter is also slow, but the speed at which a drawing is made can depend on the nature of what's being expressed. Some drawings are typed freely and immediately about something I want to instinctively say. Other drawings take days to contemplate and create, finding the best way to say something more difficult to articulate. But whatever the drawing, they are rarely retyped or neatened up. Instead, they're posted out with the honest and glaring mishits and errors that are the unforgiving nature of the medium.
The typewriter as a drawing tool is a platform that allows us to express implicitly rather than explicitly an abstraction of our self-expression. It's a medium with restrictions. We're drawing with a tool used for language and therefore have a limited drawn line, which in turn allows us certain freedom. Our drawings create a new language between the two of us, one which takes time to decipher without verbal explanations or any context. We must look closely to interpret the marks, characters, spacing, rhythm and tone of the drawings to understand what's being conveyed.
The physicality of a unique print arriving through the letterbox is a gift. A piece of post to be savoured and then slowly devoured, as if it's a bar of deliciously decadent chocolate, each mouthful given a moment of consideration before digestion. These brown envelopes full of words and pictures are put aside, for when there is time enough to open the seal full of heartfelt secrets, confessions and ramblings within, and a space has been carved out of the day to transport ourselves to one another's worlds. These letters and drawings reveal the intimacy of a long-held friendship, of private jokes and misdemeanours, of references to our histories, families, relationships and careers. This project is a testament to our desire to connect, to share our lives with one another, despite the distance, location, and life paths that exist between us.
In the summer of 2019, we presented our series of drawings as a work-in-progress show over a weekend in Lucy's home in Northumberland during the annual VARC exhibition. VARC stands for Visual Arts in Rural Communities. We turned the living room into a gallery space while inviting visitors to use our typewriters to explore them as a drawing tool. This was the first time our work had been seen together in one space. I had always had Lucy's drawings and she had had mine, but until that moment we'd not seen them together. It felt important to show the drawings side by side rather than separately, and in no particular order, as there were some similarities and echoes. Musician Mark Wrigglesford, who also lives at High Green, composed a sound piece in response to our drawing conversation. The addition of sound to the exhibition created a relaxed atmosphere where people felt comfortable interacting with the typewriters, creating drawings, letters or poems to leave for us. The project sparked many interesting conversations, from nostalgia of student essays or early jobs to mathematics and computer coding, right through to the incredulity of the medium at all.
Perfect for handling sensitive material was created for Posted Unposted British Isles, a collaborative project curated by Angie Butler and Imi Mouth. During January and February 2020, I visited Hilary at home in Manchester several times while we worked together in her studio at the bottom of the garden. We made typewriter drawings for one another with ideas we'd gathered separately. In working alongside each other for the first time and in the same space, we found a new momentum to the collaboration which allowed ideas to flow, to be abandoned or expanded through an immediate dialogue. We produced a collection of 15 A5-sized drawings arranged together in 5 folded signatures and housed in a handmade envelope, printed entirely by letterpress. This edition was our first opportunity to make a book from our typewriter drawings and realise the narrative potential existing within the collaboration. Sometimes humorous, sometimes sensitive, but always personal, the book is composed of drawings based on a feeling, what was in front of us, or what was happening on a given day. We presented this work at the Stroud Ways Goose Fair in early March and received a wonderfully positive response from visitors. It was the last time we saw each other.
Like a bookend to lockdown, in August we will be reunited, heading to the Top Shed residency with our typewriters. This will be another opportunity to work alongside each other, this time in rural Norfolk. We are really excited to create new pieces in the same space, using this opportunity as a time to reflect on the past 4 months and work towards presenting the drawings at Impact 11 in Hong Kong in 2021. We're also hoping to create an artist book of a collection of drawings in readiness for Volumes Fair in Zurich, which is at the end of this year. These goals aside, this project started in a much slower and more basic way, to communicate slowly, to facilitate a desire to stay in touch creatively, to warm up and to procrastinate before getting down to more pressing matters. Since then, it's taken on a life of its own, becoming itself the pressing matter.